Hello, people of the internet. You are watching the 7th episode of SpeedCreate. I am Meniska, you are a person, and I will totally talk and be your awesome host for the rest of this video, probably, maybe. In this fine episode, which spans over 2 hours in real time, cut down to 15 minutes, because I don't want you to suffer that much, you know, I just wanted to suffer a little bit. I'll be working with scenery, a bunch of scenery. Lovely. And I just figured out here that, oh my god, that old style with some bricks and red stuff that was present in the previous episode, that has to go. And so I made everything blue and was like, alright, that looks cool. And then I added these weird ass sort of, I don't know where they are really. I think it was inspired by Tearaway. Man, I love Tearaway. If you have a Vita, you need to play that game because it's very good. It's everything you want it to be. Anyway, I was inspired by Tearaway or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do some simple scenery, and then those weird tree branches things came up, and I made them sort of, had this idea that they would rotate in the wind swiftly, and the wind would sometimes come and whatever, so they move about a little bit when they want to, and they look pretty cool, so I was like, okay, let's continue, blah 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 blah, and the scenery continues to thrive. Maybe I should I don't know, I haven't really done any levels where I actively try to do a certain type of scenery, it feels like. It's more like I throw stuff at a wall and see what sticks, and eventually something works. And it looks, it looks okay, it looks good, but, what if I would plan my scenery? What if I would do some sort of that? So I don't know, it's kind of, it's not easy. I have been trying to do some sort of theme or scenery planning at latest level. I have a lot of levels going on in the background. I'm not sure if you're interested in them, but I do have a lot of levels in progress, like 3. One is like over 2 years old, and I still want to finish it because I really like the gameplay, and I kind of like the story too, so that'd be nice. But I have like one level that is, it basically has no gameplay, it only has grinding in it. And I sort of want to finish that, but working on it is very tedious. And then I have another level, which is, I have only done sort of gameplay doodles so far, sort of to see what works and what does not, what do I want to do with it. And I have set up some gameplay rules for me. For example, well not for example, these are the rules. The rules are that I'm using no power-ups and no sort of gimmicks, not any gimmicks that you can pick up anyway. You won't enter a bot and the bot will have some special power. You won't pick up a crate name that does a special thing, because that is something I always do. I go, okay, let's make some gameplay, we need a gimmick, and let's play around with that, because that is so easy. For example, in this level, you have spawn a bot, and I can look at that, and I can look at the standard LBP set of rules, and I can go, okay, how can this challenge the player? How can this help the player? And all that jazz. And in my 2-year-old project, that's the same thing. I have a gimmick, and the gimmick is that I restrict player control in some ways. And I can go, okay, how can this restriction help the player, and how can it sort of make the player's life harder? And I play around with that, and it would be nice to do a level without that stuff. I'm trying to do that right now. So what I have done is done a bunch of doodling where I only use like, cardboard and sponge and strings. And so far it's looking pretty cool, yeah. I'm pretty happy with it so far. I have also done some creatures that you actually play around with gameplay wise. They jump around and look silly. So the level is gonna be interesting, I think. But I haven't done any scenery yet or any story planning. So I'm like, I've been spending the past few days like, oh, what would the story be? What would its theme be? I don't even know. And right now, I'm just thinking that some sort of theme would be nice, The general idea right now is that is the phrase "adventure awaits." I just want the player to go out and have fun and explore, and the level shouldn't really be too linear. It should be sort of open world, sort of just exploring and seeing what fits. And and going out on an adventure, that kind of thing. So, you know, it's really vague, and how do I do scenery that fits that, you know? So it's easier to just doodle up some gameplay and do whatever than actually make scenery in this level, that level, but we'll see. Maybe I'll come up with an awesome story, or maybe I'll just come up with a lame story and be happy still. Here's a free level idea, you guys. What if there's a level in which you are a secret sort of agent or whatever, and there's this evil dude or dudette, and that person is totally corrupted and stuff. You need to stop it. But it's also immune to all sort of physical things. So what you need to do is you need to earn the bad guy's trust, right? That's the first step. And then you need to make the bad guy fall in love with you. Oh my god, this is getting quite complicated. And then what you do is that you break the heart. And that makes the evil dude die, obviously. And there you go, you have successfully assassinated someone. Or maybe a level where you get to kill multiple people that way. You sort of have to dress yourself properly to gain their attention, and then you have to get inside their minds and crush them like candy. So yeah, that's a pretty fun idea, I think. But I'm not gonna do it because why am I not gonna do it? It's complex. And it's hard to do well also. You know, how do you make a character that falls in love with you within 3 minutes any sort of interesting? It's kind of I don't know, maybe you could cast a spell or whatever, I don't know. But there's an idea for you. You can totally do that and I won't even be mad. Quite the contrary, I'll be very happy with you. Anyway, we are continuing on, and we are actually doing some sweet gameplay in the middle of this scenery madness. And as you can see, I changed the old bit here where you would drag the switches down with your bot, and then go and drag next one and the next one, grab, not drag, and you would actually fall down. And I was like, okay, that is kind of boring and it doesn't really look good. Scenery wise, it looks pretty bad because it was really blocky, and you know, it's hard to make it look good. So I changed it up, and now you have to bounce up instead, and it also adds more challenge since you have to go left and right. And considering you go left and right, it'll be harder to actually grab the next one if you hold to the right. But if you hold to the right, you will go right and the bot will go right. So if you release grab them, then you will miss the next one, and it'll be very horrible for you. So I added a little bit more challenge to that part, which I think is nice. I'm really happy with this part actually. I think it looks very pretty. It plays pretty good also. So a brain teaser for you right there. So that's nice. I think I'm gonna have a silent part in this episode because I feel like I've been missing those a bit. I think you need some time to listen to the garden's music from LittleBigPlanet and unwind and watch me create stupid scenery. Have a good time, and I will see you in a couple of minutes. Yeah. Goodbye. back. Hello again. I hope you enjoyed that little silence there and appreciated the scenery building. I found that when I'm talking, at least for me, because I watch my videos all the time personally, but it's easier to concentrate at actual creating when not watching, when not hearing me. So maybe you were able to do that, or maybe you just sort of sat by the computer, checked out the website, was bored, wished I would talk. Sadness, but that's alright too. I actually had one dude get really inspired. I can't remember your name because I'm horrible if you're listening, but one dude did get inspired by one of these silences. I guess he watched and he was like, oh my god, and he made a level and said, yeah, this level was inspired by Meniska's silence in this episode of SpeedCreate. And I was like, yes, I inspired someone awesome. So that was nice. Anyway, this you will notice that, and this is actually interesting, you will notice that I actually removed a couple of walls in the episode, and they are not there in the final level either. You know, right under the sponge and point bubble part, there was before a wall that would block you off to the right part, and realizing that that was not necessary was sort of it was an interesting process for me, because first I needed to block it off because I didn't want players to sort of be confused on where to go and not jump to the right and stuff like that. And I think a lot of gameplay building and level design, maybe, I'm not sure, I'm not an expert, but I think that a lot of that stuff depends on simplifying and optimizing your paths. So maybe you have an idea, maybe you create it, and you know, the concept is there, but there's probably a way you could simplify it and make it easy to understand and faster and just more elegant. So that's interesting, you know, removing that wall. You know, it wasn't obvious to do that, you know, but I did it, and I added a silly forest part to the right instead of a killing floor, because that's just what I do. Yeah, there is actually no. You can walk to the right in two parts of this episode, this level, and you will still not die. You will find secrets. So you can try that if you want to. And here I am adding some sweet sound in order to get some sound in there. That is another thing I need to work on my levels, getting some sound, because yeah, I usually just sort of forget about it, because I usually just play without sound on the LittleBigPlanet in general. I can't even hear people when they use mix, because I like to listen to music, and I do that with my speakers, and my PS3 needs sound speakers in order to make sound, so it's kind of a conflict there between my music wanting ears and my sound wanting game. Yeah, but you know, it works pretty well, I would say. Just switch when I need sound, but the result of that is that I don't add sound until I have the sound on LittleBigPlanet, which makes the all the sound be added at the end, which makes the sound process sort of hurried and not really given the love and attention it truly deserves. So that's also something to work on. There's always something to learn and work on in the world of LittleBigPlanet. So this scenery is horrible, and unfortunately you won't see me realize that it is horrible and change it, so you will have to see that in episode 8 of SpeedCreate, which will be published next Sunday. Obviously, you know, it's always published on Sundays, right? I have totally kept time there and stuff. I hope you enjoyed this episode of SpeedCreate, and I hope you enjoyed the silence also, because I sure enjoyed it. I will totally see you next week, if you watch it then. And let me know what you think, and let me know if you have any suggestions, because I'm all ears. Alright? So, yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. See you next week. Bye!